Good evening. Chris Hunter. Just a couple questions. Does Miller Canfield represent the township in any legal matters?
I believe that Miller Canfield has represented the township in the past regarding, or provided advice on items for the township in the past, yes, as has other law firms.
Sure. And if Miller Canfield was representing the township, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for Miller Canfield to be representing the interests against the township. Is that accurate?
Oh, I'm not sure where you're going on this one. Could you explain a little more detail?
Well, I'm just asking your opinion. You're the supervisor of this township, right?
Well, sounds like there's speculation or hearsay on your part. I'm not going to go any further into that.
I don't think there's speculation or hearsay. I'm just asking a question.
Miller Canfield is a law firm. I'm certain they're capable of determining where they need to go and if they have a conflict of interest.
Well, but you are the supervisor of this township, right?
Elected supervisor, correct.
Thank you. And as the
Seems like you would like that I wouldn't be because you filed a petition against me to recall me.
Sir, you are correct.
Yes.
Respectfully.
Yeah, and I respectfully mention that to you, that we have that relationship at this point.
Yes, sir, we do.
Yeah.
And as the supervisor, certainly it would behoove you to know what the persons are doing who are direct reports to you, such as Ms. Conzelman and Mr. Edwards.
They do not report to me, nor do any of the other elected officials. They are co-elected. They run their own departments. The other trustees are co-elected. They do not report to me.
Actually, that's very helpful. So you have no supervisory position over Ms. Conzelman or Mr. Edwards. They act.
If you could find someone's statue, you could share it with us, but I don't believe there is.
I just want to confirm whether they're acting independently or not.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning in their roles. They don't have to report to you.
They do not report to, well, I've already answered your question.
Fantastic. So if Miller Canfield represents the interest of the township, and now Miller Canfield has entered an appearance on behalf of Ms. Conzelman and Mr. Edwards, wouldn't you be concerned that we are paying the same law firm on behalf of the township citizens and now against the township citizens on behalf of Ms. Conzelman and Mr. Edwards?
I think that's some question you might have to ask Miller Canfield, and I don't know that would.
Well,
they certainly. I think I've answered your question earlier about their issue about conflict of interest, and you could probably bring that up with them.
My question to you as the supervisor is, shouldn't you be involved in that type of issue when you are supposed to be representing the interests of this township and now have information that two people within the township are being represented by the same law firm who is supposed to be representing the interest of the citizens and now are taking a contrary position, apparently, on behalf of the trustees?
I don't have any knowledge of that. I don't. At this point, Miller Canfield has not contacted me. I think at this point, to me, you're presenting something that I can't substantiate. So
now, I understand. Now that
your time is up,
it's
sir.
been brought to your attention, though, is
Your
that something
3 minutes.
that you...
Your 3 minutes are.
I respect that.
Thank you,
Now that you are aware of this...
Mr. Hunter. Your time is up. You'll have another opportunity to come back for a second public comment.
And I'm sorry, what are you relying on to cut down on my free speech here?
What we were relying on is the Attorney General's opinion on the rules that are established for public comments and how the board can set up an appropriate time limit for comments.
And you can certainly allow me additional time if you wanted a couple more questions.
Absolutely, and in the past, I think I've allowed you up to 6 minutes or 8 minutes on at least 1 or 2 times, and
have.
I've gone well beyond 3 minutes on others.
You have, and
Yes.
I'm just asking if you would indulge me on this one.
Richard,
You have one more, just a
ask him a
second.
question?
Just a second. Who spoke in the back over here? Sir, that's your first warning from the floor, okay? Thank you. You have one more question? One more question?
Yes, actually.
One more question.
Fair enough.
Or comment.
Sure. Now that you have become aware that Miller Canfield is representing both the interests of the township and now the interests of township trustees, is that something you will look into as a supervisor and make sure that proper precautions are taken in terms of the representation?
I have not been notified by Miller Canfield, and in this particular case, you and I probably have an adversarial relationship, so I'm not certain if I can rely on that as factual. But yes, sir, I certainly can reach out to Miller Canfield.
Okay.
Thank you.